Hi, Martin Worth here from The Mystic Way. This is the second of 4 podcasts that I've recorded with Dina Berrin. Now, Dina's in New York, and it's exciting working with someone from across the world. And I guess exciting also that the collaboration, the synergy that we had together was pretty awesome, in the fact that out of one conversation we got 4 definite podcasts and maybe a couple of extra little bits and pieces along the way. People come for they come for a healing session, and quite
Yes.
often it
So
can be
tell me about that
ancestral.
healing session.
It can be ancestral, or it can be past life. And I think if those memories have been activated by an event in this lifetime, it's rarely that I know of, interesting, that activation has a positive effect on their life. Normally it becomes a something to work through, you know. And that in itself's probably a good thing anyway.
These readings, I'm so curious, how much information do you get in the reading?
Well, the way that I operate in my healing sessions is that I connect with the person's spirit,
Mhm.
and then I guide them to see what it is that's happened in a past
Okay.
life, or ancestral, or even this life. And I find it's quite powerful that the person actually sees and understands and feels the emotions that happened in that moment of time themselves. It brings both the emotional body and the mental body together within the spiritual body, and provides a fairly thorough healing for someone when they actually understand, oh, that's what happened, and oh, that's how I interpreted it. Goodness me, I understand. Like, one good example of that is a lady who came, and she was terrified of institutions, any sort of institutions, doctors, hospitals, particularly medical type stuff. And we went back to when she was, 2, maybe 3 years old. I can't remember exactly. And I said, okay, Spirit, take her back to the point in time where this issue was created. And there she
Mhm.
is on a stainless steel kind of, hospital operating bench or something.
A gurney or something, yeah.
Yeah, gurney or something. Thank you. Is probably what it was. With all these doctors prodding her and poking her and bright lights and stuff, and felt she was being tortured by these
Terrifying.
people. And then all of a sudden she said, "Oh my God, I've just realized what happened." And what had happened was her drug addict parents had shut her up with too much of a dose of heroin, and she
Oh
was
gosh.
overdosing, and the doctors were reviving her and bringing her back from the brink of death. And all of a sudden,
Wow.
just her whole attitude towards everything just changed. She realized, oh my God, I thought they were killing me. They're the only reason I'm alive.
We were
Boom,
safe.
instant healing. It was just so beautiful. And she's
That must have
crying
been
and
so
I'm
powerful because
crying.
I would
Yeah,
imagine like you have no idea what story you're going to enter when
exactly.
you begin the
Yeah,
healing. I mean, it could take
yeah,
you anywhere.
yeah, yeah. Well, just the other day, Sunday, actually, I had a lady come, and we went to a past life situation. And I thought, well, this will be interesting. And went back, and she's like getting nothing. And I'm getting this very clear picture of a lot of water and someone floating in it,
Oh,
you know. But there was complete calm. It was just this feeling of calm. And I said, "What are you feeling?" She says, "I'm feeling calm." Okay, good. We're on the same wavelength. And I sort of guided her in, and she bit by bit put together what was happening was exactly what I saw. But if I'd have told her what I saw, I don't think she would have had the depth of healing that she got, because she wouldn't have dissected it herself. And it was interesting because it actually ended up being that she'd had this recurring dream of a ship sinking. And
Mm.
when she finally realized that's what was going on, and there she was, trapped in a bulkhead somewhere in the bottom of the ship with the water rising, you know,
Oh.
she, which was what her dream was. When all of a
And it
sudden
was
she
a
realized,
repeated
oh my
dream.
God, yeah, this is my recurring nightmare, and pieced it all together. The funny thing was she had difficulty in communicating with people, particularly if something came up that she had a passionate kind of opinion on, and she would always then be a bit forthright with her opinion, which a lot of people are. But interestingly enough, the reason was because in this past life, she saw the disaster was going to occur and wasn't listened to. And as a result, many people died. It was almost like the Titanic coming up to a blooming iceberg kind of thing. It almost was. I'm getting Titanic here. She thought it was a troop carrier off to war, and maybe it was, but I was getting a very Titanic kind of feeling about this, and and the captain and the crew didn't really were not competent enough to know what was going on, and she had a premonition that she knew that this was going to happen, but she couldn't communicate it because she was of this lower rank and no one listened
Mm.
to her. So the frustration of that, which was interestingly enough was awakened in this lifetime at the age of 6, with her parents arguing with each other and her not being able to communicate because she was only 6, to ask them to stop because they're wrecking things. So, see the
Being the
similarity of the
common.
two situations.
Yeah. And
And
so was she, because it sounds like she, in her prior life, then she probably died angry, angry that
yeah,
she,
there was anger. There was a lot of frustration, I guess. I can't remember the exact emotions, but there was definitely at the bottom of it, other than being a great amount of sadness for all the people that also were killed, that it was like a waste of life was the feeling. But there
it
was
wasn't
anger.
necessary. It
There
was
was
avoidable.
anger. Yeah. And so once that had been woken up in this life by the same sort of feeling of angst and loss that was going on with her parents arguing, that of course awoke that whole weight of that
Feeling.
whole dimension.
Yeah.
And so of course she had communication problems in this lifetime,
She carried that with
which I
her
hope
her
now
whole
when I hear
life.
from her in a few days' time, she's going to call me back. That she is now noticing a difference because that old dimension of time was healed, was the energy was released. It's amazing,
Wow. So
isn't it?
I just what I picture you doing is lifting a heavy weight that sits on people that they don't even understand why.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
And you come in and it's like this past life work that you do is like you lift the weight. You kind of like you make this
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
lighter and
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah. Often when people get up off the massage table that they're lying on, they say, "I feel a lot lighter." It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, the
wow.
heaviness of that. Yeah.
And can you do that for yourself?
Um. Yeah. I had to think about that.
In a word, yes, you can.
Well, I was. I think when we spoke on the phone, I was telling you that I'd sat through a EFT, a tapping, um,
Tapping is wonderful.
session with Heather Ambler in California. I don't know where in California she is, but she's in California, and she does these free tapping things every so often. And I tapped through that, and I had 5 pages of notes going one from the original, what I want to clear to down, 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 and finally found out what was at the bottom of it. It was like, holy jeez, blow that
Wow.
one
So is
off.
that surprising to you? Like sometimes, like when you say when people find out what it was
Mm,
surprising. You
yeah,
know, how like that girl found out that, she was being saved by those doctors, not killed by them. Like,
yeah, yeah,
was it surprising to you what you found was at the root of it?
yeah. Well, it was. I guess surprising's a word. It was something that I probably knew, but didn't realize the depth of it. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but once again, like we said at the beginning of our chat today, it's hard to do these things on your own. But there I
It
was
is.
with a group of people, and they're tapping on all sorts of stuff, you know, because Heather she'll probably work with 3 people one on one throughout the call, 20 minutes each kind of thing. And, and they're tapping away on, dead husbands and father issues and what have you, and I'm tapping away on something completely different, but it's still moving. The energy's moving. It's been in
Yeah,
that
because you're all
group
there
sort of thing.
together doing the work.
Yeah, it's the coming together of the group of people. It's so important. It's wonderful stuff.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, that's why, I mean, you do, I know that you do you have these sessions, these weekly sessions, and they're great. Like just to
Mm.
gather in community. I think that that's like, I know that as the world is in turmoil and there's a lot of uncertainty, I feel that the thing that we need most is community
I
and
think so
acceptance
too. Yeah,
and love.
100%. Yeah, that's what's missing in the world.
Well,
Yeah.
and I feel that that in we've become very awakened to it in more and more recently. I feel like people are like, you know what? We need to be, I feel like growing up, like there were all these I mean, there still are like Superman movies and like, I think that we all think we're going to be saved by somebody in a cape. But the truth is that's us, like we need to show up and be the one that saves us because no one's coming.
Mm.
No superhero for sure is coming. But it's really powerful to show up and really be like present for people,
Yeah.
which is the work that you
Yeah.
do.
Providing opportunities for people to come together is really important, I believe.
And be heard and speak up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find that with the men's work, that's one of the important things that we do. We get together with men in circle, and there might be, 10 or 12 men, and each man has a chance to speak what's on his heart, and everyone else listens. We don't aim to fix or to give advice. We do just listen, and it's really powerful.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I think that I mean that's probably really interesting because I know that men are not known for speaking about what's on their heart.
this is true.
So
Yeah.
and so it's I would imagine, I mean, you make you of course make it a safe space and
Mm,
there's no
mm.
judgment and no one's talking about anything, but it's just like the fact that these men are showing up and they're sharing like this, it just hammers home the point how necessary it is right now.
Completely. Yeah, yeah. But guys generally aren't, because there's some ridiculous notion that you should just soldier on and, you know, be
Man up,
responsible,
just
man up, yeah, all this stuff.
be a
I mean,
man kind of thing.
there's all this talk about toxic masculinity and such, but at the end of the day, um, men also are affected by what we call toxic masculinity, because it's not all men are toxic.